Happy First Friday. I am here with Michael Campbell. Hi, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great, great. It's Friday.
Happy First Friday.
Not that it matters in my world right now. Every day is pedal to the metal.
Yes. So we are going to get to chatting about what you're doing now after I do your little introduction. Okay, you ready?
Okay, great. Go.
Okay. So Michael Campbell is a New York native and began his healing work in 1980. He is you want them to do the math because you look like you're 40, but
41. I started when I was 1.
He is founder and president of the Healing on the Bay, and Michael provides wellness services on the water via chartered and private sailboats and on land in his private practice. Michael is a licensed massage therapist in the state of Maryland and graduated summa cum laude with a Bachelor's of Science in Health and Wellness from Campbell University. He holds certifications in life coaching and addictions counseling. Michael graduated from the Lawrence Harrison Institute in New York City, the Florida School of Massage in Gainesville, Florida, and the Pacific School of Bodywork and Awareness in, what's the place in Hawaii?
Kauai.
Kauai. Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks for the help with the pronunciation. So Michael's services include massage therapy, life and wellness coaching consisting of holistic nutrition strategies for wellness, stress management, whole food preparation, meditation and mindfulness, astrology, and the present-centered awareness method. Michael draws from 8 different massage and bodywork modalities in which he also holds certification. They include structural-based systems such as Swedish massage, sports massage, connective tissue therapy, neuromuscular therapy, structural integration, reflexology, and energy-based systems such as polarity and shiatsu. Did I get it all?
I think so.
There's actually lots more, but we'll get into some more over this time that we have together this evening. But I just want to share how we met, because you are a Renaissance man, and I knew nothing about your sailboating or massage therapy or health and wellness coaching or any of it when we met, because you were my salsa dance teacher. So at White Rose Farm, we had a salsa party and we ate salsa, and Michael taught us salsa. And I had you as my salsa teacher at least 2 years, maybe 3 years for that event, before we ever had a conversation about your other life. And it was during a stressful time in my life where we started talking back and forth on my drive to the hospital. So that really ties in with Mental Health Awareness Week, Awareness Month, because when we connected on a deeper level, I was going back and forth to my daughter who was in the hospital for depression. That was a really scary time for me as a mother. And you were just a really good listener. So I have not had a massage from you. I have not gone boating with you, but I know that you're a really good listener. And that speaks volumes, because you have to be a really good listener with your ears, but I assume you're probably a good listener with your hands and with your whole body with the sailboat. So thank you. I don't know if I ever thanked you for being such a good listener during that stressful time for me.
You did.
Yeah. So it's always good to start from a place of gratitude. So I'm grateful for our meeting years ago in salsa dancing, but also for our expanded connection beyond that. So I look forward to that time when I get the whole family out onto the boat. We planned it and it didn't happen. So, but there's a whole lot of things that you do. Again, you're a Renaissance man. So tell us a little bit more that goes beyond the bio that I read and what you've been up to lately.
Okay, well, you kind of said a lot of it. Let's see. When I first became vegetarian, I've also been vegetarian that same amount of time, for the most part. Uh, I started exploring holistic and alternative health because I wanted to figure out a different way to well, actually to avoid the illnesses that are promised to us if we don't take care of ourselves by eating and uh, behaving in ways that are not healthy. So I got directly on a path of trying to do that, and um, along the way, I discovered a lot of other things. One of the other pieces that I include in my kind of awareness and diagnostic tools is astrology. That happened when I was in college at Howard University, and I went to a church that was predicated on the Christian Bible, um, the the, uh, the Christian Bible, astrology, and the ancient wisdom found in the Pyramid of Giza.
Mm.
It was quite a church, let me tell you. And each Friday we celebrated the Sabbath fasting, and the minister talked about where the moon was that night, and so I got to learn about astrology and ended up really learning so much that I now use it sometimes in my practice. So that's another tool. That's another tool that I use. That's pretty insightful. Um, I have a client who is a doctorate in social work at Morgan, and he also loves astrology, and he picks my brain every time he gets on my massage table. And we started and I guess got one session, I got a message um, saying I should talk to him about me going into social work, because I'm getting older. Massage therapy is a physical job, and manual labor, I call it. And so he said, well, you would be awesome. And one of the reasons was because I have this astrological insight that probably no other social workers have. And so we had a brief discussion, and I literally felt like I got an intuitive and universal, hit or communication that this is something that I definitely should pursue. And so I did. And instead of going, I applied to Morgan and University of Maryland and got into both, and decided, because University of Maryland was more science oriented, that I would attend there. And I'm just finishing up as we speak my first semester at UMB in their Masters of Social Work program. So
Great.
yeah,
So never stop learning, sounds like. That's
never,
kind of been your
and,
path.
and let me just tell you, it's quite a gymnastic, mental gymnastic effort, and it's keeping me sharp. And I tell you, the brain cells that I feel like I've been losing are being rebuilt as I'm as I'm writing and reading and having to put papers together. And it's just it's been quite intense, and I love it. It's another passion. I live a life of passion. Passion is required for pretty much any and everything I do. When I sit down to eat, I don't care where I am. My plate needs to look delicious and taste delicious. So my palate needs, I need to have passion in my palate. I need to have passion in, my work. I need to have passion in conversations, watching TV, whatever, whatever it is. I want to always feel good.
Yeah.
So it's the bottom line for me.
And I have to share something that kind of goes along with that, that's on your website, because passion in your personal life, passion for your profession, you're also kind of passionate about healing, and you have a play on words on your site, because healing, as in making better, HEAL, but then you tie that with the sailboat and leaning on its side, HEEL. So I just want to read a little something that you have that was written on your website.
Okay.
For those of us who are sailors, the word healing, HEAL, has a double meaning. When the wind fills our sails, the boat leans on its side and heels with 2 E's. The same wind powers the boat like a natural motor, propelling us forward toward our destination, which also is simply just sailing. The feeling of healing, double E's, is so freeing and magical that many are healed, EA, from the experience alone. This is only the beginning. So really, this is a good analogy for your life, it sounds like,
Yes.
propelling you towards your destination.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm also a life coach and wellness coach. Sorry, I hit my table. And my discovery form welcomes people to my coaching practice, saying that sometimes, during the coaching process, their sails will be filled, or there may be a lull where nothing's happening and the water is just glassy, and then it can be turbulent, and so you never know what's going to happen, because life is unpredictable. So that's the analogy that I use there. And
lots of good sailing analogies.
yeah. I mean, you could just go on and on. It's the ocean is deep there. So yeah, so I I love the holistic aspect of what I do, meaning in my massage practice, I include coaching when I'm working with people, especially when I am first reading through the client history form. I am listening, as you said earlier. I do a lot of listening, and listening includes body reading, and body tracking. So body language speaks louder than words often. And so when I'm with a client, I'm often listening for what's stressing them. I'm listening for what they're not saying. I'm listening for what their body language is saying. And then when I'm working with them and they're on the table, I'm listening as my hands are moving through their tissue. I am listening for inconsistencies or obstructions, or anything that may, or blockages. Let's just say that. And so the listening aspect is critical, with my hands. Someone once said that I had eyeballs in my fingertips, like like I could see into muscle tissue, and I had like radar there as well. And it's true. I mean, I've been doing it for 41 years. So at this point, I kind of have that sense. But I guess what I wanted to say is that the holistic aspect is that I operate from a mind, body, spirit perspective. And what people don't understand when they come to me is that the chronic tension, chronic pain that exists in their bodies often comes from the mind and emotions and spirit. And people fail to make that connection. And so for me, my job is to help them make that connection, and to sit and be present as I'm conversing and kind of in discovery of what may be going on with them, physically, from an emotional and psychological standpoint. So that's the aspect of my work that I think ties into what you're doing, especially with this group, that is critical. So I wanted to make sure that those who are listening understand that there is that connection, and not having awareness or mindfulness about what's at play when there's pain or tension in the body is like you're missing the big picture. You're missing the ship, because it's like a band-aid on a broken leg. You got to get to the root cause of what's happening. And if I've had sessions with clients that went the entire hour and a half of them talking and us, sorting through what's happening. And the hour is up and they never got on the table. And I'll say, well, and they'll go, well, I actually feel much better. And I'll say, well, how's that pain in your neck? And they say, well, it's gone. And I jokingly say, well, it's because we were having a discussion about who's a pain in your neck or what's a pain in your neck, and voila. So I say that jokingly, but I'm very serious. That has happened more than once. And it's the reason why I do coaching, is because it's really often a front for my massage practice, meaning, it's really the bottom line. If we're not addressing those issues, then the body will continue to be plagued with, whatever is going on, so.
Right. And that's many ways we're on the same page, but your mention of the addressing the root cause is, a focal point for both of us. Yeah. So you mean that the tension in my neck and shoulders right now might be because of the stressful conversation I had with a dear friend, and then I ate my dinner in 5 minutes? That could be it.
Yeah, that could be the acute piece. However, I'm sure if I put my hands on your traps, on the top of your traps, I would go, this feels old. This feels like this has been going on more than tonight.
And you would be right. Yeah. So when you're done your social work degree, what do you imagine doing with it? Private practice or?
Well, but yes, definitely private practice. I love private practice. I love one-to-one. I love working with groups, couples, depends on, what it is, but that's kind of the micro aspect of what I want to do. I do have a macro aspect, meaning working with communities, and particularly Baltimore City, and I'm looking to perhaps join forces with Baltimore City's health department and create a holistic or a wellness, health and wellness department within that department.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I wish you.
That would be really great if I could do that. That would be awesome. I'm going to do it in one form or fashion, whether it's with Baltimore City or privately. It's going to. I would like to get that done on a mass level, like provide it for the community, and figure out some funding so that those who cannot afford it can have access to services.
Yeah, sounds like an awesome goal. I'm excited for you. Yeah.
I also plan on doing retreats on sailboats in the Caribbean for a week.
Ooh, okay. So let's do a little segue now and talk about the sailing. So you talked about what people go through if they walk into your office, or because you go to people's homes if they're in the Baltimore area for massage.
Yes.
But this other thing that you do on the sailboat locally, and it sounds like hopes and
internationally, right?
Long distance. So talk more about that.
Okay, so what I have currently, what I've created is a wellness on the water retreat. And you're supposed to go, wow, wellness on the water. Anyway, so wellness on the water is really me doing my wellness services and bringing all that I do in my practice on land to the water. And so folks can avail themselves of mindfulness, meditation. I actually do bring my massage chair on board if people are interested. And I'm also a pretty serious vegetarian cook. I'm not allowed to say chef because I wasn't trained as a chef, but I certainly have been cooking long enough. I feel like I am. And so those are things that people can experience on the boat. we leave the dock. I ask people just to be mindful of the difference between being on land and being on water. And most people are already experiencing the water when they're on land, just looking out at the water because of the effects, the therapeutic effects that water has on the nervous system, on the mind and the body. So once we leave the dock, you know, I let people just, experience what it's like, and I observe, them looking around and having that experience. And then, I ask them before we leave the dock to create, a new experience for themselves, or to work on something, or to have like a transformation, or a transformational experience in an aspect of their life that, is stressful for them, and bring it with them on the boat ride, and see if there's a difference with that particular thing, once they get back on land. And so I'll do a check-in as we go along, and I'll get everyone's attention because people are chatting, or people are in their own world, and I'll have everyone do a quick mindfulness check and just ask everybody to be silent and be present and notice how they're feeling. Remember the thing that they were going to focus on, and see if that has shifted for them, that level of stress around it has shifted, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now? And then, 60 seconds or 2 minutes later, we go back to, sailing and conversing, or whatever it is. They also have the opportunity to go somewhere and anchor. If they choose to do that, we can anchor and have food, have lunch and or dinner. And I can break out the massage chair. People can have, massage on board in a chair, 10 to 15-minute sessions, depending on how many people are, there, and how long the cruise is. And then, pull up the anchor and keep on going. Either continue outbound or head back inbound. And invariably, people have a really tremendous experience. And I will just say the experience of sailing alone is healing, and add mindfulness and or any kind of transformational or healing conversation. It's tremendous.
Right. Yeah, when I first learned from you that you did these trips, I was just newly introduced to, I have to make sure I have his name right, Dr. Wallace J. Nichols, who wrote Blue Mind. And I had seen an interview with him and a TED Talk. And I was sharing all of his research, and I was like, you guys, like, you have to meet this guy, or at least read his book, because you are sharing similar experiences on just the benefit of being near the water. Now, his background is marine biology. He has his PhD in marine biology, but he wanted someone else to study, does something happen like neurophysiologically when we're around water? He said, because I feel different, and everybody talks about how they feel better on the water. And it ended up that nobody else was going to do this research, so he did it himself, and has started an organization. He used to be the senior scientist at the Ocean Conservancy, but now his focus is currently just to kind of share this insight about Blue Mind. I'm just going to read a touch of what it is, because it's so similar to what you're already doing. So it says the Blue Mind refers to a powerful and new universal story of water. In this story, society accurately describes all of the physical, ecological, economic, cognitive, emotional, psychological, physical, and social benefits of healthy oceans and waterways. By connecting neuroscientists and psychologists with aquatic experts and artists to ask and answer exciting new questions, his work is transforming many sectors, including health and wellness, education, parenting, arts, and it goes on and on about all the stuff that he's doing, but it talks about his book talks about what you're already doing. That the nice change of background,
There you go.
little flick of the switch. Just the amazing way. I mean, how many people go to the beach for vacation? Like, why do we choose that?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my mom, who didn't even swim, like to feel better sitting on the water, sitting next to the water. And, you know, as you talk about adding all the other aspects to just, in addition to just being on the water, you know, the healthy food, the massage, the mindfulness, it can be transformational.
Yes.
Yeah.
I in my earlier years, I was an ocean lifeguard on Long Island, and I used to joke about how I would do this job for free, just sitting in the lifeguard stand, watching the water. It was just so great, and being in the astrological sign of Cancer that rules water, I was in my element. I just was like, wow, I seriously could do this for free because, you know, it was just awesome sitting in the sun, watching the water, and then never mind, you know, jumping in the water and rescuing people. That was the ultimate, like, you know, I was healing back then, you know, as a lifeguard in a sense.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Yeah. So we still haven't done it, but we talked about doing like a combo yoga sailing retreat. So kind of COVID kind of got in our way. So we're going to have to revisit that.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
How many people can fit on your sailboat?
Well, how many people can fit versus how many would be comfortable are two different numbers. I've had 11 people on my boat, and it's very crowded. So honestly, a comfortable number would be 4. 5 starts to get crowded, 6 is crowded. And so that's, you know, that's where I try to draw the line. So that's what it is for now. You know, when I start making more money, I can get a bigger boat and we can put double that amount of
Yeah.
people.
But we could do yoga by the water and then have a knot tying session, because I saw a video of you teaching people how to tie knots. We could still cook by the water and still
Yeah.
benefit from being on the water, you know?
Well, what I sometimes do is just dock, you know, in a public space like a Pier 5 or the Broadway Pier, and people just hang out right there. We can, you know, put up a table for food and, you know, play some music, salsa dancing on the pier.
Yes.
Um, you know,
Okay,
I usually have my birthday party in that style.
that sounds wonderful. I got
Yeah.
my second shot on Sunday, so two
There you
weeks from now, we'll see. Hopefully the world starts opening up.
Yes.
We can plan for that this summer, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you a picture of my boat while we're at it.
Okay, cool.
This is the maiden voyage when I first bought my boat, and I was underway, and there was a lot of wind and where is it? Good gracious. There's a lot of wind and water, and it is gone. Where is that picture? Wow, that's unfortunate.
Well, while you're searching
Oh,
for
here
the,
it is. Here it is.
okay.
Sorry. There you go.
Oh, that's a cool picture.
Yeah.
That's relaxing just to look at it. I'm gonna sit here and stare.
Well,
I
it wasn't so relaxing. We had 20 to 32 knots of wind that day, and it was pretty harrowing. I
yeah,
mean, and nothing that, you know, my friend Marcus and I could not handle. We're used to being out in conditions like that, but I don't think you would have been relaxing if you were on the boat.
right. Now, I don't know if I've shared with you. So my dad went sailing every Friday for most of my childhood. And it would be like a treasure, like a special date to have a day alone with dad. And we would go, you know, sailing with him. Now his sailboat, he could carry on the top of his head.
Okay,
And
right.
it was really only for 2 people. It was like made of styrofoam, a little snark.
Wow.
And he put it on the lake in Hanover, Pennsylvania at Cadorus.
Nice.
But like so many good childhood memories of
Telling you.
just moving along the water, and he would teach me how to move the rudder and pull that center board up, and watch out, we're coming about, and I had to duck my head and the whole thing would spin around. And I mean, for him, it was meditative, critical in stress reduction for him. He was often had 2 or 3 jobs, a clinical psychologist and a Lutheran pastor and an author. And sometimes for a period of time, he was on the suicide prevention team and getting calls in the middle of the night. And his sailing on a Friday was like peace.
Yeah.
And every summer, he had a group of pastor friends who would go sailing on the Chesapeake Bay. And so for multiple years, it was Dad's time away. He would be gone for a week. But then as the kids started getting older, he started inviting us one at a time to go like for 2 days. So my mom would drop us off on a dock and we'd get to go. And so my freshman year in college, it was my turn and I could bring a friend. And it was just amazing. I'll never forget it. Two nights on the sailboat. You unplug, that was even before cell phones and computers and everything. And it was so relaxing to just unplug and be out there and feel the sun, feel the wind.
The smell of the water, the seagulls in the background.
Yeah.
The wind knocking against the lines that ran up the mast and clinging, cling, 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 just amazing. All those, it's true. As you're speaking, my father also taught me how to sail. I'm having childhood, nostalgic memories and feelings, the feelings that are coming back as you're talking about it. And, jokingly, I say it every time I leave the dock, it's like my first time, like, who invented this? Who invented this? And, what a genius.
Right. So how serious were you about the trips to the Caribbean? Is that like a plan in the works?
I'm extremely serious about that. I mean, I could do that now without my degree and do what I'm doing here. So that's, put it together. I'll get a group of people, let's just say, anywhere from 4 to 8 people, and it's a done deal. We can fly into, I've was working with a sailing club that did yearly trips in the BVI in the British Virgin Islands, and we island hopped for a week and just went to each island and partied and ate and drank and had fun on the various locations that we went. So we'd fly into Beef Island on in the which island? Beef Island in the BVI, and charter a sailboat, and there would be 10 to 20 boats, and get on a boat, provision the boat for the week, and take off and have an itinerary of where we're heading, and just plain ridiculously awesome.
Okay. Well, we've got some planning to do.
There you go.
So if people want to find you for massage or wellness on the water,
yes.
How should they find you?
Oh boy, I should have put my business card up so I could share the screen and boom.
That's all right. We can edit it in later and put it in the comments, but you're Healing on the Bay. Right?
Yeah, healingonthebay.com is my website.
With the HEAL, healing.
Correct, healing, as in getting well. And my phone number is 410-299-6037. That's 410-299-6037. And healingonthebay@gmail.com is my email.
That was pretty brave of you to just put your phone number out there, but
it's out there anyway, and it's out there for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm self-employed. So,
Well, this has been fun. I forgot we were doing it for, let me look and see if anybody has questions. Okay. Anybody have questions? There's somebody watching. Oh, let me turn the volume back down. Is everybody dreaming about? Rocco's dreaming behind me. Um, People are dreaming about the day that they're going to take that boat ride with you and get a massage. And okay, well, this has been great. I don't see any questions coming up, but I appreciate your time and conversing with you.
well, it's been a pleasure and an honor, and I really appreciate you inviting me on. I'm grateful for, you know, the folks who will get to see this and that they're in your sphere, in your group, in your Facebook group. And, you know, I hope that folks avail themselves of any of the opportunities that I've been sharing, and they continue to stay on a path of health and wellness.
Yeah. Yep. This was a good follow-up for Stress Awareness Month and a good start to the mental health awareness. So thank you for contributing to the health and wellness of the community. We appreciate you.